Hello, everyone. Welcome live to 3Y TV and tonight's broadcast of the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series right here on 3Y TV. I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth this week, we got a couple of special guests, including the commissioner himself, Garrett Gleason, and the man who we found out winning at super speedways is possible for anyone. That's Stephen Doziak Jr. Great to have you guys in the booth. Garrett, some money's going to be won tonight.
Thanks so much for having me, Peter, and thank you for all that you and 3Y TV do for us as a league. But truth be told, I'm here for two reasons tonight: to enjoy some great super speedway racing, and number two, I want to check this off my list so I could add this to my Bumble profile that I am a professional broadcaster as of tonight.
That is right, and of course, Stephen Doziak, you've been up here in the 3Y TV booth before as well, taking home the win in the season opener back at Daytona, but it's another super speedway race here tonight. Tell the fans why you're not out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, I actually donated my wheel to a friend of mine, a longtime childhood friend. He's going to get into iRacing, and I'm waiting for my wheel to come in, supposedly Thursday, so knock on wood, next week I'll be back out on the track.
Well, hopefully you will be back out there on the track with everyone here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, because you are a winner yourself. But tonight, folks, we're going to be giving away some money. And Garrett, we have a prize pool of $110 here tonight. Tell the folks back at home watching what the drivers out there are going to get here tonight, the different prizes, and what it's going to take to get those prizes.
Well, tonight we're doing a little bit of a different format. Normally, as if any fans of motorsports know, there's a qualifying session. Well, tonight we threw that out the window. Random qualifying grid, and we're doing a couple of heat races here. There should be, I'm guessing there's 2 heat races. Each winner of the heat will get $10. Then we will go, after the heat races, to our feature race. It is a 40-lap feature in which there will be a $50 first prize, a $20 second prize, and a $10 third prize, as well as prizes for leading at halfway. And Stephen Doziak is taking over for Bob and giving out a Shibby Shack Award tonight as well.
That's right. And Stephen, we were trying to come up with a couple of the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers prior to the race, and I think we got Jason Shu being one of those drivers on the line here tonight, but I think you got some others as well, as everyone starting to roll out there for the first of the 2 heat races.
Yes, the 2 other Shibby Shack drivers, none other than Bob himself, who came up with the idea, and also we will be throwing Brian Rubel into the mix as well tonight.
Yeah, definitely going to be fun to see who walks away with the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash, $10. In fact, this week it's put up by none other than you, Stephen. Thanks very much for doing that and keeping the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash alive here. But let's see if we can get this lineup for you. There's not a huge field here tonight trying to vie for this $110. So on the left-hand side of your screen, you can actually see the top 11 drivers that are vying for this money here in the initial heat. So heat 1, Garrett, you were actually technically supposed to start on the pole for this heat, but of course you won't be racing. You're up here in the booth with us, so sit back, have a good time. And we want to thank each and every one of you in the chat. We got Ryder Lee Angle, the Windsors, and Tana Himmelman. Of course, the Windsors always rooting on Bill Edwards and S2R. Tana Himmelman rooting on Andrew. And Ryder Lee Angle rooting on that number 99 machine of Philip Scott. Let's see if we can see where Philip Scott is. And one thing about this racetrack, folks, is going to give the gyro cam a workout here tonight. The most banked racetrack in all of iRacing. It's not a real racetrack. This is the only racetrack that iRacing has that is not based on a real racetrack. This track based off of Coca-Cola Speedway from NASCAR Racing 2003 season, which is the game where TNR got its first start. But the green flag is going to be in the air, 5 laps to determine which one of these drivers will win the first $10 on the line here tonight, G.
Peter, we're off and running here with our first of 2 heat races, and I, for one, am going to be watching number 97, the Canadian Dale Earnhardt himself, and seeing how long it takes him to get up to P1.
Already going off into turn number 1, the number 40 of Jason Shu, one of the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers here, currently leading the field. We're watching the number 88 machine there of Rubel right there in the middle of the field as we already start to go 3 wide down the backstretch.
Seems like these guys think we're paying out for the first lap. You got to make it to lap 5, guys. Take it easy out there. 3 wide. What great racing so far.
Oh, man, tight there between the 88 and the 13 of James Lorello up there on the top side, trying to get some help from his S2R teammate. That is the number 17 of Ben Izenga as they fan out here onto the front stretch. Just 4 laps to go. There will be $10 to the winner. We're 4 wide. How about that coming across the start-finish line there? Doziak, oh, contact the 78. Then somehow they save it. My, oh my, that is one of the biggest saves of all time in this. Oh, Harvey's loose. Harvey's loose. Harvey saves it. Wow.
Him saving it might have just saved him the race. I mean, everybody knows on a super speedway, you just have to make it to the final lap, which happened to me. But hopefully he doesn't lose this lead pack, and he could maybe pull out a win here.
Yeah, and folks, I don't exactly know why the standings are all saying one lap down. Our graphics package doesn't exactly like heat races for whatever reason, but I can say that the positions, well, they're blank up there at the top of the screen right now, but the positions are correct. Ben Izenga, there we go. Things have finally sorted themselves out. Ben Izenga, your race leader, 13 of James Lorello, his teammate right behind him. Number 99 of Philip Scott, digging down there on the inside groove. In fact, Scott's trying to take the race lead here, coming with 2.5 laps to go halfway down the back.
Usually never good to compare somebody to Ricky Stenhouse when it comes to super speedway racing, but the moves that Philip Scott's been making in these league races remind me of Ricky Stenhouse. No fear whatsoever. Doesn't care whose feelings he hurts. He gets to the front and stays there.
Yeah, you see him right there in the middle. He's dropped back to third. Ben Izenga in the number 17 machine is your current race leader. There he is, flashing across the start-finish line this time. And folks, if you think these cars are going fast, well, you would be right. 237 miles an hour right now, almost 240. In fact, if you're one of those cars a little bit further back in the pack, like Kyle Givishausen, you are going, oh, contact. The 78 is Spencer Tart. Did he go around? There's no caution flag here in this one. I think Vincent Valvano also might have been caught up in that one. He was, but no caution flags here in these heat races, G.
No caution flags is correct, sir, and it seems like that might be what it takes to get one of those S2R boys out of the way and give these other guys a chance at the win here. Can't wait to see if my pick, the 97, pulls it off here.
And here comes that number 97 on the inside groove, and Steven, you and I know you don't have to lead coming to the white flag to win on one of these super speedway races, much like you yourself. You didn't lead back at Daytona. Who do you think's going to walk away with the win at this point?
I actually like the number 88 and Brian Rubel. I mean, he's got all the draft. All it takes is that run out of turn 4, and as we speak, here he goes to battling the lead with Ben Izenga and Mike Tellier above him.
Yeah, that number 97 of Mike Tellier is trying to get a little bit of a draft there off the back of the 13 and 17. They stay locked up together. What will Lorello do? Will Lorello try and jump out on his teammate? Here comes Tellier trying to get a run. He's laid back, trying to get as much draft as possible. Tellier going to drop to the inside. We're going to be 3 wide here, coming to the line. The 17 going to push the 97 down below the yellow line. Who's going to win it? It's a dead heat coming across the line, and it looks to be James Lorello, 17 thousandths of a second, the first driver to walk away with a little bit of cash here tonight. Guys, we're going to have to catch that one here on the replay.
What a tremendous finish, and if that's what we're in store for tonight, sit back, folks, and enjoy the show, because that's incredible.
Let's take it down to super slow-mo. That was what you saw right there at the line. Oh boy, I'm absolutely flubbing this, guys. Let's pause this right as they go across the start-finish line. Bam! Right there, James Lorello taking home the $10 for the win in heat number 2. And just like that, heat number 1. And just like that, we're into heat number 2. We're going to find out who's going to win another $10 here in 5 laps from now. A completely different grid from what we saw in that first one. And then we're going to re-rack them all together for the main event here tonight. But G, unfortunately, a little bit of contact there in heat number 1, but all the drivers, a good majority of the drivers got through unscathed. We'll see if we see something similar here in heat number 2.
Yeah, the idea behind the heat races and just letting guys have an exhibition race is to get this out of their system. You want to mix it up. You can't do it every week when you're points racing. You want to race for the tremendous trophy that we have made by Thornton Graphix. This is your week. Mix it up, wreck somebody, get wrecked, have fun, try to win some money.
Yeah, let's see if we can actually tell up Mr. Bob Gianto, usually here in the 3-wide TV booth. Let's see if we can get a quick word with driver of the number 23 machine, Bob Gianto, Peter Shorten 3-wide TV booth. You got a copy?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Well, it's gone pretty good up here in the booth, and of course you're out there on the racetrack this week, not alongside me for once. What's it like to get back out there in the race machine?
It's wild. It's a little nerve-wracking, to be honest with you. I haven't been out there racing with these guys since, God, the NRO 3 days, so it's going to be interesting seeing how I can pilot this car for sure.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun race out there for you in the Shibby Shack Dash machine. I'll tell you what, it isn't a long race, but 5 laps. How are you going to take the extra $10 here tonight?
Honestly, it's going to be one of those things where I just have to, keep the car on in one piece, keep it in the draft, and whatever happens, happens. I was watching the first heat there with you guys, and man, that was terrifying. Just watching that finish 3 wide there, it was, oh man, it was crazy.
Well, if you can't hear by what's going on in the background, the fire alarm's just gone off in my place, so I'm going to have to go evacuate, and I hope my place isn't burning down. So, G and Doze, you guys have the call here.
Well, no better time than the present to figure out what we're doing, right, Doze?
Yeah, best of luck to you, Peter. We hope everything's safe down there in Texas, and you get back in the booth quickly with us here.
Right, the pace car pulls off, and we're ready to roll. That's Jason Gracias leading the field of green with his good buddy Jason Freeman on the outside.
It'll be interesting to see these two battle it out for $10. In super speedways, you often tend to see them work together, Garrett. In the Thursday Taz Racing Customs, they're always teamed up together.
Yeah, those two have definitely formed a bond between the old school TNR guys and the new school TNR guys, and I'm honored to have them both as part of the league. They're tremendous people. They have setting an example for everyone. Oh, geez, looks like Jason Freeman got a little squirrely up in the top groove there. Tristan Mayer takes the lead on the outside, and looks like they have enough momentum to clear him, but looks like he's going to stay with his friends.
Well, the main thing is everybody made it through turn 1, and anybody who does official races knows turn 1 is very key to making it to the end of the race. And coming to this first lap, we have every car still on track and all in a lead pack draft here.
Look at Andrew Himmelman pushing that vehicle that he's sponsoring himself. His business Sim Shots, what a tremendous job he does with racing pictures. And if you are not subscribed to his Facebook page, do so right after the race. Don't leave us, but make sure you do that because he's amazing.
Having a good couple of days here. Friday in the NSRA Simbox Truck Series, him and Jason Friedman led most of the laps, and here he is again tonight, up in second place, pushing his, I guess you could say, teammate for tonight in the Sim Shots, Ford Mustangs.
Ooh, he gets a little wide there going into the turn, pushes Freeman up the track, ruins his momentum, and here comes Lucarelli, going to make it 4 wide on the back stretch, or the front stretch, excuse me.
And if I'm not mistaken, I see Bob G in the 23 machine in 5th place here with 4 laps to go, 3 to go.
You have to love Bob getting out of the booth and then deciding, I'm not going to run the bottom line and be conservative. I'm going to run the top line and see if I can win this thing. Go, Bob.
All right, well, folks, the fire alarm has turned off. So I guess these heat races were just a little bit too hot to handle here on 3Y TV. So the good news, I'm back. But thanks, G, and thanks, Doze, for commentating there for the first 2 laps. But seems like things have settled down here. We'll figure out what that was all about afterwards. I live in an apartment, so it could have been anyone in our building. But anyway, up at the front, it is red hot because Jason Gracias has led the first couple of laps, I do believe. And now here comes the number 20, Jason Freeman, a little bit of help from the S2R machine of Bill Edwards back there, but you can't count out those drivers a little bit further back. That is Bob Gianto, Tristan Mayer, and Tony Lucarelli. In fact, something must have happened to Mayer and Lucarelli, guys. Not sure. There's the number 98 machine of Mayer on pit road, Tony Lucarelli as well. In fact, that 41 machine is completely trashed, but unfortunately, they will not be picking up the $10 for winning heat number 2 here tonight. Of course, there is still $90 to play for in the main feature, but we're coming to the white flag here, Doze.
Yes, and while you stepped away, Peter, I was talking to Garrett. It's interesting to see Jason Freeman and Jason Graphix work together here. You broadcast enough of our races to know with super speedways they team up. Well, here they're on their own for $10, and this will be an exciting finish.
Yeah, and we'll look at the number 20, Jason Freeman there, just cutting down on the bottom side of the racetrack, trying to get a little bit of help now from Bob Giaquinto. Here, Giaquinto slicing and dicing. The 20 of Freeman gets up into the wall. Here comes Giaquinto around the outside. Gonzalez in the 20. They make contact. Oh. And now it's between Gracias and Giaquinto up at the front. They're wrecking back behind. It isn't going to matter. The one. Here comes Giaquinto. Drops down to the inside line. It's going to be another drag race to the start-finish line. Who's going to win it? 4 wide. And it's Edwards slicing his way up the middle. G, have you ever?
I never sit back to back. Wow, whoever decided that we should run heat races this week, I believe it was Floppy Mike. I don't want to take credit for it. Tremendous idea, because that was fantastic. And Bill Edwards coming from pretty much the back of that lead pack to win it. That is what super speedway racing is all about right there, ladies and gentlemen.
And unfortunately, folks, iRacing advanced the session, so we aren't able to go back and get another good look at that finish. But luckily, with YouTube, you can rewind yourself. It's amazing. But anyway, we'll just have to wait on that. But we're in the warm-up session. We've already got $20 to our 2 winners here tonight. $90 to play for now, guys. And $90 on the line, you're going to get, $50 for the winner, $20 for second, $10 for third. And then there's also $10 right there at the halfway mark for whoever leads that lap. In fact, that $10 at the halfway mark was put together by David Harvey, driver of the number 77 machine. We saw him with that spectacular save in heat number 1. But still a lot to play for here tonight. Colin O'Leary saying 4 wide at the line. Yes, Colin. Yes. I don't think on 3 wide TV we've ever had 4 wide across the start-finish line before. That is a new one here for the channel. And I have to say, one of the best finishes we will see. But we still have one more finish here to play for here tonight, guys. And Garrett, you got a lot of money to give away in this one.
I wouldn't say I have a lot of money, but thanks to our Great League sponsors, we certainly are able to do this. And I don't think I was specific with what type of currency I'm giving away, so I'm going to have to check the market. Maybe I'll give them something that's not worth as much as US dollars. But I can't wait to give it away, and I hope we could have another 4-wide finish. But my thinking is, by taking myself and Doziak off the track, there's less accidents and a better chance for good finishes like that.
Well, let's see if we can go through a random grid this race. And I say this is scripted, guys. This is 100% scripted, because in the random grid, you are both in the session as drivers. And because you're both in the session as drivers, guess who it put on the front row? Garrett Gleason right next to Steven Doziak. Guys, this is scripted. Random? Seriously? Garrett, you have something to say about this?
I don't think I've ever had a poll in my life, and to have 2 in one night, I'd just like to thank everyone in my crew for making it possible and putting us on the poll. And I will answer no further questions.
Okay, we will let you do. We'll just leave it there. On row number 2 on the inside, that man right there, Spencer Tart, with Nathan Nicholson in the 47 machine. I haven't seen Nathan Nicholson present that 47 machine just yet. On row number 3, Vincent Valvano, Tony Lucarelli. Row number 4, Philip Scott, Tristan Maher. Row number 5, David Harvey and Jason Freeman, as that pace car starting to roll out there on the racetrack. So it does look like the 47 and Nathan Nicholson will not be out there on the racetrack. Kyle Geveshouse and Lupe Gonzalez, row number 6. Row number 7, Jason Shu, Bob Giaquinto. Keep an eye on that number 23 machine. Almost picked up that win in heat number 2. Brian Rubel, Andrew Immelman on row number 8, while Mike Floppy Tellier, Jason Gracias, row number 9. On row number 20, we got Ben Izenga, Bill Edwards, and rounding out your field here tonight, the number 13 machine of James Sorello. And folks, in the chat, I want to know who your picks are for winning here tonight. Garrett, Doziak, you guys got picks as well?
Well, I was going to take my good friend Mike Tellier again, but he aggravated me by not winning his heat race. So I'm going to take the 38 of Vincent Valvano, who has proven time after time that he is one heck of a super speedway racer.
And myself, if anybody's familiar with 3Y TV, you can't ever count out Ben Isinger or James Lorello. But tonight, I'm going to go with the 50 of Bill Edwards. He's overdue for a win. He already got a heat race, and his S2R teammates are in the back with him, so I would count on Bill Edwards making a quick run to the front here.
Guys, I wasn't live. Green flag has already waved, folks. I did a big bad fox right there. Somehow, some way, we were able to get behind. I honestly have no idea how that happened, as I didn't rewind anything there when we advanced over into the race session. But whatever the case, we're a green flag here at iRacing Super Speedway. Spencer Tart, the number 78 machine, and the 20 there of Jason Freeman up front. What has happened to the man who started on pole? That is the 78 machine of Tart. There he is. Of course, he inherited that pole with you not running, Garrett, but 40 laps to go. And look, we're almost thinking about 4 wide here going off into turn number 1 here on lap number 2. We are thinking about 4 wide here on lap number 2 is a 44 machine. Right there, that's Kyle Geveshausen, goes up to the top side, and oh, he smacks the wall coming out of turn number 2. Garrett, that's not good for that car. There's contact. Tristan Mayer in the 98 machine. Wild ride for him. He's going to go down to the bottom side of the racetrack, but doesn't look like he's going to lose the draft. Wow.
The action is incredible tonight, and the good news for those guys is they all have a fast repair, so they can get corrected. And it looks like we have more problems on the track, Peter.
Yeah, we do have more problems on the racetrack. That's the number 41 machine. You saw him right there. Okay, now we're going to go back and get a replay. Let's see if we can see what happened here. At 40, let's keep an eye on the field. Oh, there's contact with the 20th Jason Freeman. Oh, there's a Bob Giaquinto getting involved. Antonio Lucarelli. Watch Lucarelli get absolutely impaled there by the number 88 machine. That's Brian Rubel. And look at Tristan Maher. He had a extremely eventful lap number 1, but somehow I think he got away with no damage in that car, even after the 2 collisions he had. That is just unbelievable. Almost did a little bit of a grip roll there. But let's see if we can see what happened here to the number 20 machine. Let's see if we can break this down, Doze, and going off into the corner, just contact between the 78 and the 20, it looks like.
Yeah, if you've ever raced here, you know, entering these high bank turns, sometimes you have to lift. And I don't know if the 78 did not lift or if he just washed up, but it looks like he made contact in Jason Freeman's left quarter panel, which shot him up into the wall and collected a few others behind him.
Yeah, let's slow one down again. Things happen really, really fast, and there's that contact, and just not a lot of room given, but granted, it did look like the 78 might have pushed up just a little bit here, and that's not what you want to have happen here on lap number 2. Look at the 41 there of Lucarelli just get absolutely launched up into the air. You see Rubel there spinning, got Dunn Raceway Park on that number 88 machine. So already a pretty big collision here, taking out some drivers. We'll have to see how many of these drivers elect to use their fast repair, or if any of these drivers say day done. But Lupe Gonzalez right now up at the front of the field, right behind that Ford Mustang pace car. And folks, if you're in the chat here tonight, we want to hear you make some noise. RC Plains 59 saying, good grief. Yeah, good grief, Charlie Brown. The Windsor saying, I picked Bill too. I'm sure that is going to be a pretty good pick, actually. Bill is always good on these super speedways. Tana Himmelman saying Andrew for the win. Ben Adams also saying Andrew gets the win. Ryder Lee Engel says, I feel like we should be making over-unders on how many cars actually finish this race. You know what? If there's money on the line, guys, there is always going to be some hard racing, and I expect to see that throughout this race, especially with the speeds of upwards of 240 miles an hour at the iRacing Super Speedway. And Garrett, I remember racing this track back in NASCAR Racing 2003 season, and it was one of those racetracks where it was very one-lined back in the NASCAR Racing 2003 days, but at least in iRacing, there are multiple grooves here. You've seen those multiple grooves actually work with the 2, 3, and even 4 wide racing that we saw at the end of heat number 2. I think this racetrack is thoroughly improved than what it used to be, G.
I would agree with that assessment, Peter. NR 2003, I mean, it was fun, but you were hard pressed to make a move on the outside. Here, like we've seen so far in our heat races, you can go 4 wide. You run out of a little room out of 3 and 4 sometimes on the top side, but for the most part, 3 wide, not an issue here. 4 wide could become an issue, but there's definitely room for it if you have the skills to pull it off. But the NR 2003 days, not so much.
Yeah, you see the field working their way down the front stretch. We expect this race to go by relatively quickly. Pace car lights have also turned off here. We keeping an eye on some drivers. It looks like Brian Bell, the number 88 machine. Where is he? There he is. He looks like he had to take a tow back to pit road. Has Master Millwright on that Ford, and Master Millwright, big shout out to them. Jumping on board as a sponsor here of the Total Nonstop Racing League.
Yeah, a special thanks to Brian Rubel himself, because he's good friends with those guys down at the Master Millwright shop in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. Those guys are well known in the dirt racing community around here in the Northeast, and I'm honored to have them as part of our league, sponsoring our Big Block Series, which will go live on March 16th, Tuesday, March 16th. So I hope everyone joins us for that if you like dirt racing. I'm not a good dirt racer, and I know Doze isn't, but we'll take you anyway. We want everybody we can get for that series to support Master Millwright.
All right, folks. Johnny Williams in the chat saying, what did I tune into? Well, you tuned into Garrett giving away a lot of money. $110 on the line here tonight, Johnny, and we've already given away 20 of the 110. We will give away an extra $10 here in 16 laps from now, just under 16 laps from now, as we have technically 35 and a half laps to go. But Doze, what have you been seeing out there? I'm a bit surprised with how racy they were, considering this is a 40-lap race.
Yeah, first thing I noticed is Bob G, the man himself. He is up in the outside row on the third side. And then I also saw the S2R cars make a move up towards the front of the pack. So I will look for the S2R cars to stay together and find their way up front, just to see who will bring home that $50. Hopefully they will have a clean sweep of first, second, and third.
Green flag back in the air. We're going to head off into turn number 1. There is your race leader, the number 35 of Lupe Gonzalez, blasting it down into turn number 1, going 190 miles an hour off into. I mean, that's just absolutely nuts that you're already going 190 miles an hour and you just got the green flag bouncing out of turn number 2. And you can kind of see that this racetrack is like a enlarged Dover, where you actually drop down into the corners. We'll see if we can go on board here with Lupe. Right now in the number 35 machine, as you see the 1 and the 6. Whoa, the 1 of Gracias there clipping the apron. You don't want to do that on entry into the corner, but you can kind of see you jump down into the corner, and watch this, you kind of jump up out of the corner, especially riding on the high. Have potentially another issue further back, including the number. We got some cars on pit road. This is the green flag pit stop, guys. Garrett, Doze, there was a green flag pit stop that you had to make here tonight. Looks like Philip Scott, Mike Floppy Tellier, and Tristan Maher all coming down right now. Number 99, 97, 98, trying to get that one green flag stopping.
Definitely a strategy call by the former Waffle Motorsports boys here. I'm sure Mike had a lot to do with this call. They're going to get this pit stop out of the way and go for track position later on.
Yeah, and of course, if the yellow flag comes out and if they're, stay on the lead lap, that will work in their advantage. But as you can see, your race leaders are about to whip on by them. The rule is you have to make a green flag 4-tire pit stop. So you can't just come down pit road and take 2 tires. You can't just do fuel only. As you see the number 99 there just rolling out back onto the racing surface. So those cars that just coming off pit road, they're now scored a lap down. So they're going to have to wait and hope that everything cycles on through here tonight for them to get back onto the lead lap. I don't know if they were expecting to go a lap down. Doze, I wasn't exactly expecting them to go a lap down. What about you?
No, but being this pack is so tightly together, they're keeping excessive speeds here, and these 3 cars that pitted early, I guess they forgot about the halfway money race, but I guess they're going for the big prize at the end. It'll be interesting to see who the next set of cars is that are come down to make their green flag stop. Will it be the Jason and Jason show, or S2R, and where does Bob G fit in with teammates?
Jason Shu in the 40 machine coming down pit road right now. Jason Freeman in the number 20. He must have had some issues, guys. I know that number 20, he appears has quite a bit of damage on that race car, to be honest with you. Not 100% sure if that was all from that initial contact or not, but if it was, he was definitely struggling, and I expect to see him get that car repaired. Meanwhile, up at the front, there's kind of a break in the field. We go on board here with the number 13. This is James Arella, who was really, really strong in his heat race, battling right behind his teammate Ben Izenga. Those two trying to stay locked together here, G, and I know we talk about teamwork, especially on these super speedways, but I'm kind of curious. Lorello and Izenga, they're running that higher groove. You don't expect to see that high groove in effect, at least when that low line is so open like it is. There's no one down there to contend with them, but you see the 13 and the 17 kind of just trying to stay wound up.
I think they're trying to keep a gap to that front pack. They know that the checkered flag is really what matters, and we've had a crazy race so far and 2 crazy heat races, and those 2 guys are tremendous racers, and they certainly know what they're doing, and I think it's all part of the plan.
You're watching our race leader right now. That is Andrew Himmelman. He just went across the start-finish line to lead his 5th lap here of the feature event. It is 40 laps around iRacing Superspeedway with $90 on the line in this final race. $50 goes to the race winner, $20 goes to second, $10 for third, and also an extra $10 for the leader at the halfway mark here tonight. As you see one of the cars coming off pit road a little bit further back. I think that is Brian Rubel, possibly working his way back out onto the racetrack. But up at the front, it continues to be Andrew Himmelman, Jason Gracias there in second. And what I'm thinking, guys, is they're going to get to that halfway mark, get to lap number 21, lap number 22, and that's when I expect to see these drivers come down pit road. Now, I say that, you know, if you're in this top 10 right now, which goes all the way back to Bill Edwards, you're not losing any time. Those drivers who've already come down, the 98, the 97, and the 99, they're not locked up. They're not in a big pack. This front group, they're able to draft together and actually get time on those cars that have already pitted, so it might not exactly work out for drivers like the 98, 97, and the number 99 Machine Doziak. Is a little bit questionable making that early pit call.
Yeah, pretty much they're not out of the overall prize, but I don't see them having anything to do with this 20-lap shootout. But, you know, hope for a caution, and, you know, anything on super speedways, you just got to be there at the end. You know that.
Yeah, and not quite sure why it shows you in the second position, but that's not right, Doziak, unless you're out there on the racetrack. Our live timing and scoring sometimes struggles with these heat races. We don't exactly know why. We are trying to transfer over into a new graphics software, which doesn't struggle quite as much with the heat races, but this one software unfortunately does, and sometimes it gets everything kind of thrown for a loop. But those, you're up here in the booth, but you're still not leading the race, because that was Andrew Himmelman, and that is correct. He's actually going to lead his 8th lap here in that SimShots Ford Mustang. Got to give SimShots a shout out, taking pictures for TNR as well as NSRA, the National Sim Racing Association, that we broadcast here on Friday nights and often on Thursday nights as well here on the channel. And folks, if you're in the chat here tonight, you're enjoying what you're seeing and these pictures around the iRacing Super Speed, make sure to hit that like button and share the channel with your friends as they blast their way off into turn number 3. And so far, we saw all that side-by-side racing in the early laps there, G, but seems like things have settled down, at least as we close in on the halfway mark. Probably about to get a little bit racy for the extra $10 here in a lap or so, but at least for now, been a little bit quiet.
Who would have thought that in order to get everybody to settle down, we just follow the youngest guy on track around? The guy does not even have a license, and everyone's following him around like he's king. It's unbelievable, and it takes me back to our days when we were all teenagers doing the same thing. It's a little bit of that fearlessness you have when you're young that enables you to lead at a place like this.
Yeah, that is definitely true. I remember coming to this place, like I said, and driving it. And man, this racetrack was never my favorite in NASCAR Racing 2003 series, but that's really because it was such a low-line fest. Remember back in the day, gee, we used to have leagues where there was actually a low line rule where you could only run the low line for like 3 or 4 laps until you were inside 10 laps to go. This racetrack was notorious for that. You just couldn't pass here if you were on that second group. But luckily, iRacing have worked on the racetrack. It is the only fictitious racetrack in the entire iRacing service. And it's just fun to be out here on this racetrack, especially with the ability to pass with these cup cars. I know I've driven this track with the Indy cars, just absolutely nuts with the Indy cars. You're going 260 miles an hour here around this place, just flat out, darting in and out of traffic. It is absolutely berserk. But I mean, it's still berserk with these modern day cup cars because they don't run a restrictor plate on this particular version of the racetrack, so that means they get every little bit of horsepower as that number 6 once again crosses the start finish line as the race leader there does.
Yeah, and I mean, what a weekend this number 6 of Andrew Himmelman is having. Friday night in the Simbox Truck Series, out front for a lot of the race with Jason Freeman, and 3 days later, here he is Monday night, leading with a chance to win, you know, X amount of dollars. What do you think is going through his mind right now, Peter, with 4 laps to go for this money?
You know what? I'm sure he's just going to be watching that rear view mirror. He sees the number 1 machine of Jason Gracias. In fact, this is what he sees in that rear view mirror. He sees that front end of Gracias just closing in down the straightaway. It's just a matter of time for Gracias to make a move. In fact, how about that? Seeing inside the suspension. Don't you love video games, folks? That's not real. Number 1 right there is, I mean, he's gonna have to make a move. He's gonna have to go for the $10. I mean, you're just not gonna sit there and leave $10 on the lane. At least I wouldn't. So, gee, lots of winding down here towards the halfway mark, and I'm sure some of these drivers have their eyes on the bigger prize, that being the $50 prize for the win here tonight. But I don't know. It's worth a gamble, right?
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy about gambling, and my therapy's not cheap. But I'm first thing I want to go back to is Doze asked you what Andrew's thoughts were about leading the race. I noticed he didn't ask me because I never lead any races. And I'm not offended, but let's just move on past that. My pick, Vinny Valvano's looking good in 3rd. So if I was a betting man, I'd be hitting those live odds right now for Vinny Valvano.
Yeah, look at Ben Izinga back there. You got a quick look at him on the right-hand side of your screen. There he is, kind of leading that middle group now with a little bit of help from the number 78, Spencer Tart. He was the pole sitter at the beginning of this event. Of course, random draw pole sitter. Not, in fact, technically not the real pole sitter. Garrett, you were. But, of course, up here in the booth, not down there in the race car. I bet you thought 2nd. Or you thought maybe you should just go jump down in the race car when you saw that you were on the pole and just say, all right, guys, just see you guys later. I'm actually going to go race. Because you want to start on the pole one of these races, but we're now 1 lap away, folks, from finding out who's going to win that $10 prize for leading at the halfway mark. Be 20 laps to go this time by.
Business is picking up. We're 2 wide here through the pack after the first 2, and the S2R boys look like they're going to make a run for this, not stage win, but halfway point win.
Yeah, Andrew Himmelman, number 6 machine, though. He looks like he's got a commanding lead for right now. That outside groove at the 17 of Izinga trying to pull level with a little bit of help from his teammate Bill Edwards. But that inside line just appears to be too strong. The number 6 machine, Andrew Himmelman, going to come across the start-finish line. He will pick up $10 here tonight for leading at the halfway distance. Now, when will we see all of these cars? This front pack has yet to make their green flag pit stop. All 4 tires have not gone on these cars. I'm just keeping an eye on some of the drivers. I see Vincent Valvano. He's made a pit stop, but I think he just came down with a splash for fuel. Spencer Tart, he came down pit road, I think, to fix some damage on the number 78 machine. You see a little bit of that front end damage, but he did not elect to use his fast repair in that number 78 machine. As you see, Ben Izinga finally able to draw level with the 6 of Himmelman, but these leaders, they will have to come down pit road at some time, and if you're in a big pack like this, it can sometimes spell trouble there, Does.
Yeah, and anybody who knows, you know, green flag pit stops, you have to be on the bottom. And with those cars up top, they're going to have to fall in behind these race leaders just to get down to the bottom of the pit. With 19 laps to go, I would expect to see them in the next 5 laps.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And I don't know if you guys have any idea on what the fuel numbers are here tonight, on just how many laps you can make it on a full tank of fuel blasting your way around this racetrack, unrestricted. So the fuel usage here at this particular racetrack is going to be higher than any others. And here they come. The number 6 machine of Andrew Himmelman is going to lead the charge down pit road. There's the one of Jason Gracias. Vincent Valvano looks like he might have just barely locked him up. And what about the number 23 back there? That's Bob Giaquinto in the Shibby Shack machine. He's going to be coming down to his pit stall, but that leaves currently 6 cars still out there on the racetrack yet to come down, led by Ben Izenga, the number 17. Will we see them on pit road this lap? Only time will tell there, guys.
Time will tell, and I was curious to see if Bob made his pit stall, because after not racing for 10 years and having the green flag pit stop coming off the track at 240 miles an hour, I know I would have missed the box.
And yeah, we'll head down pit road this time. Oh, one does. That's Lupe Gonzalez. So we're down to just 5 cars at the front of the field. There's Lupe trying to get down to that pit road speed. And I got to say, that looked indicative of a possible pit road speeding penalty on the number 35 machine. Just looking to see if there was any other pit road speeding penalties. I don't see any. Possibly Brian Rubel in the number 88 machine. But no, that was 13 laps ago that he was last on pit road. But we'll have to see whether or not the 35 of Lupe Gonzalez, of course, one of the Shibby Shack Dash. Is he one of the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers? Those?
Yes, the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash, we have Brian Rubel, we have Bob Gianquinto himself, and our third, I believe, was Jason Shu. And right now, all 3 of them are +1 lap.
Okay, there we go. So Lupe Gonzalez, not one of the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers. And where is the number 35 of Lupe Gonzalez? Is he back out there on the racetrack right now? No. Lupe Gonzalez still sitting in his pit box. And, might have actually, there we go. That number 35 machine, current pit stop time, guys, 50 seconds. So that is a definite stop and hold by iRacing, finally able to get rolling, but that will be almost an entire lap here around this racetrack, lost on pit road. Ben Izenga, will he lead these 5 cars down pit road? Here they come, the 17 coming down, the 50 coming down. Will these guys get down to their pit road speed? Looks like they all will, just barely. Good job by Izenga, Lorello, Tart, Edwards, and Harvey, all able to get down to that pit road speed. And if you're wondering what that pit road speed is, voila, there it is, 65 miles an hour coming down to their pit box right now. And Garrett, races can be won or lost here getting on into your pit box.
Yeah, you're selling that to the guy that missed his pit stall 4 times last week during our TNR race. So I definitely know that a lot of time could be saved and a lot of time can be lost on pit road. You got to make sure you hit your box square, get your service done, and get back on track without merging incorrectly. And then you might have a shot at it. But you make one little mistake, it could cost you the race.
All right, here we are on board with the number 6 machine, Andrew Himmelman. He has led 16 laps here tonight. But the big question is going to be, where will he come out relative to those cars that just pulling off back up onto the racing surface? You don't even see any of those cars getting back up onto the racing surface. And a caution flag is going to change all of that here, folks, because I believe the number 17 machine has had issues. That being the number 17 of Ben Izenga, trying to get up to speed, pushed it a little too much, got up onto the racing surface and spun it around. And that will bring out a yellow, and probably the biggest thing hurt there is the 17's pride, because that's not what you want to do. You do not want to spin coming back out onto the racing surface. And Doze, it looked like that group of cars had a stellar pit stop. It looked like they were going to be so far ahead of that pack of cars that it was going to be down to a 5-horse race, but this will mean we will get to re-rack them and go at it again here very shortly. This is going to be a fun finish, Doze.
Oh yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to pan out. You got 14 laps to go. Lights will probably go out with 10 to go. So you're looking at a 10-lap shootout, and we don't know what's going to happen here. As we all saw, the pre-race heats 4 wide. Maybe we'll see 5 wide. Who knows?
Yeah, when you put $80 on the line. There's $80 to win. The top 3 drivers will be picking up a little bit extra cash in their back pocket after this race is over. When that extra money is on the line, these drivers are going to have to really go for it. But Lorello was the first driver to come off pit road with that very impressive pit stop. In fact, all 5 of those drivers all came off pit road together until the 17 of Izenga washed up the racetrack. And this banking here is extremely unforgiving. In fact, there's the gyro cam. Almost 45 degrees of banking here at iRacing Super Speedway. It is absolutely nuts here, folks. But as Logie Bear in the chat says, this changes this race a lot. And Garrett, I have said better myself.
Well, Peter, you caught me there. I just had to jump in the server quick. I wanted to let the administrators know that as the league owner, I'm doing air quotes, it is okay with me if they wave everybody around and give everybody a chance at the money, because I think that's what our fans would want. So let's do it.
All right, well, drivers who will need a wave around, there goes one of them. That's Kyle Gevesalsen in the number 44, actually picking up the Max Graphics Lucky Dog award, I believe, legitimately. And then I think Lupe Gonzalez, who had that pit road speeding penalty. I'm sure we'll see Lupe get waved around the pace car here in just a little bit. Also, Mike Floppy Tellier in 97. Trying to see if anything happened to Mike. Of course, he was part of that pack here, guys, that pitted with the 98. Not seeing anything in particular about his pit stop or anything like that, but he's being scored 1 lap down right now. Giaquinto, what happened to Bob? Possibly speeding penalty on the number 23 machine, currently being scored 2 laps down. Let's see what happened to the 3-wide TV co-commentator, at least usually up here in the booth. Bob Giaquinto, Peter Short up here in the 3-wide TV booth. Did you get nabbed by the speeding police?
Did. I got nabbed for speeding and just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, that is a tough break. Now, we are getting word that potentially you will get waved around the pace car. We'll have to wait and see whether or not that indeed happens or not. Hopefully it does, so you can get back right here. But are you having fun out there in the number 23 machine?
Oh, man, it's a blast so far. I'm having so much fun just trying to, learn where everyone's going and learn everyone's different racing styles. But, man, this is a blast right now.
Well, Bob, I know it'll be fun to have you back up here in the booth. So don't have too much fun down there in that Shibby Shack Chevy Camaro here before the end of this race. But, Bob, best of luck here in the closing laps. And never say never here on the Super Speedways.
Thanks, Peter. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to being back up there with you.
All right, well, we'll let Tim get back up to his group of people here on Discord. As he's up there in a group with David Harvey, Mike Floppy Tellier, Philip Scott, Tristan Maher, Vincent Valvano. They're all together. And Garrett, you race. How important is it to be in one of these Discord channels? Of course, Discord is the software we use to communicate amongst all the different drivers. It's actually what we use to communicate between both of you and me right now as well. But how important is it to be in a channel with a group of people that you actually meld well with on one of these Super Speedway races?
Well, Peter, in my case, I actually prefer the bigger group Discord with all the race car drivers. Team channels are great and fun. If you're, like when I'm over at NSRA, we go in our own channel. But like during the TNR races, I like to be able to hear from everybody and know what's going on. If there's a caution, I like the group, so we could call it out and kind of have some communication between everybody and not just a select group of people. How about you, Doz?
I love the team channels. It helps with pitch strategy. Getting that run together, as you see a couple friendlies working together here. But like Garrett said, with everybody in a server, we're all here to, turn some laps and enjoy everybody's company. It's just talking to people through the race, asking them how their day was. Anything to just get together as a community and enjoy, this nightly race.
Peter, we missed it before, but Doze came into the Discord and told us all that the Texans released Deshaun Watson, which I found out was completely made up and fake. So that's what Discord could be used for as well.
Lies and slander on the Discord. what is a lie is the fact that the number 13 of James Lorello getting us back underway up at the front of the field. Green flag waves. He's going to drop down in front of his teammate. That is Bill Edwards right there in the number 50 machine, that chrome machine, as they head off. Not surprised, those teammates working together. They've worked together for a majority of the race, but here comes the number 78 Spencer Tart. He's going to leave the number 77 of David Harvey high and dry out there on the high line. In fact, Harvey continues to drop back in that Hisense Toyota Camry, back to about the 6th position here as we head down the backstretch. But now the action really going to heat up. We have 10 laps to go this time by those.
Yes, and like we said in the pre-race, you have the S2R teammates working together. One teammate I have not seen working together is the Jason and Jason show. Jason Freeman and Jason Gracias. They always seem to be together on super speedways, but all race I have yet to see them, bumper to bumper pushing each other.
Well, where is that number 20? There he is. Used his fast repair under that pit stop. A big beneficiary of the fact that we did get that yellow flag, because he was well back behind the pack, but was able to stay on the lead lap. You see all those cars they're racing in front of him, but like you mentioned, not able to get to the back bumper of the 8th place number 1 machine. Your reigning Thornton Graphix Grand National Series champion, the number 1 of Jason Gracias. Here comes David Harvey in the 77 machine. He's going to try and look to the high side with a little bit of help from that reigning series champion, the SimShots Ford Mustang right there of Gracias. But laps are winding down, just 9 laps to go, and look at all the cars fan out here on the front stretch. Garrett, this is exactly what the fans wanted to see here in the chat.
Sure hope so, and if you're in the YouTube chat, let us know if you're happy with tonight's product on track. We'll definitely come back here again. But Jason Gracias has not had the season we've expected, and maybe a win here could get the momentum he needs to make another run at a championship here in Total Nonstop Racing.
Oh man, we just had one car. Who was that? Just dropped. That was Jason Shu, I think, in the number 40 machine. There he is. Just dropped below that yellow line there on the front stretch. But look at this battle up at the front of the field. The number 50 of Bill Edwards has gotten himself up to the front of the field. The number 78 Spencer Tart, who started on the pole here to start the race, is trying to go for the race lead. He has gotten to the inside of the number 50 of Edwards, and in fact, it looks like Tart, gonna lead that lap. Who's gonna win it here, folks? Things are changing fast, and now look at the number 6 machine. That is Andrew Himmelman. All of a sudden, Himmelman, who's led the most laps in this race so far, has led 16 laps in that race car, and caution flag waves. Looks like Himmelman will be the race leader, but what happened in the back of the pack? We got a couple of torn up race cars here, folks. Let's see what happened going off into the corner. Oh, the 40 machine just got loose. Oh, man, right up into Lupe Gonzalez. There's Philip Scott getting involved. It looked like that number 40 just all of a sudden snapped around there, guys.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It looked like there was a little bit of an incident there. I don't know if Bob ended up getting into him or not, but Jason Shu not having a good night out here on track.
It looked like there's definite space, and then all of a sudden that 40 just seems to break loose. Man, Tristan Maher, wrong spot, wrong time. The 99 there, not able to do anything as well. We also, I think that was, who was that back there? Was that Rubel who got involved? Not 100% sure. Looks like Geveshausen might have got a piece of it. But wow, that happened extremely fast here at this racetrack. Let's see if we can go on board here. Watch those hands on the left-hand side of your screen as they go off into the corner. Everything's normal. All of a sudden, things are not normal, and that is a very, very tough break to take at this point of the race. Just 7 laps to go here at iRacing Super Speedway, and of course these drivers all trying to go for that $80 on the line at the end of the night.
I expected the accident to come from the pack race, and I didn't expect a self-spin there because of either aero or just getting loose, but I don't think that'll be the last accident we see tonight, Peter.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Tristan Maher and the number 99 of Philip Scott involved, and I think Maher might have already used that fast repair here tonight, guys. And of course, that's always a risk that you run those on when to use that fast repair. We see some drivers say, you know what, let's see if I can live with a little bit of damage. I think that's what Jason Freeman did after he was involved in the first caution flag here tonight. Tell the fans at home kind of what it's like, that strategy call that you make on when to use that fast repair.
Yeah, in car, usually you idle around 2,000 RPMs, and if you're anywhere in that vicinity, usually you could get away with it. especially on the shorter tracks. But these super speedways, it's so draft dependent that it's hard to judge. Sometimes you just got to live with your decision. And as you saw, Jason Freeman lived with it the first time, but realized he was losing too much draft, so he had to use it. And if you use it, it's best to just drop to the back and make that late race push instead of racing up in front and, you know, having this ruin your race.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, guys, we're riding aboard here with one driver whose race is going to get exponentially better because of this caution flag. That is the driver picking up the Max Graphics Lucky Dog Award right here. Mike Floppy Tellier in that number 97 machine has DC shoes on the hood of that black and purple machine. You see him working his way through some of the damaged race cars here on the front stretch, but he will be back on the lead lap for what is going to be about a 4-lap shootout here at iRacing Super Speedway. Chat, we saw 4 wide coming to the start-finish line for heat number 2. Will we see that again in the feature race? Let me know, because you know what? I'm curious to know what you guys expect in these final closing laps here at iRacing Super Speedway. There's Andrew Himmelman, who gets lead. Daniel Nope. Daniel, thanks for joining us here on 3 Wide TV here tonight. I'll tell you what, guys, what we saw in heat number 2, I haven't seen here before on the channel, and it is absolutely awesome to see these drivers going for broke for the cash that's on the line tonight.
If this is what it takes every week, we might have to put a cash prize on the line, because these guys are putting on a show, and I can't wait to see these last 5 laps or so.
240 miles an hour coming to the start-finish line. That is what all the fans want to see. Pace car lights have turned off. It will be 4-lap shootout here. This is a 3-mile racetrack, so 12 miles if you do the math to see that checkered flag out. And Andrew Himmelman, the driver who has led almost half the race here tonight, 19 laps in all in the number 6 machine, will be getting us back to green flag. And Doze, that's extremely impressive. When you go to a super speedway race like this, you aren't expecting to lead a whole lot of laps. You're expecting to see a lot of lead changes. And that number 6 machine of Andrew Himmelman has led almost half this event.
Yeah, for a while there, it seemed like everybody, you know, just wanted to ride. It kind of single filed out, and when that outside line did get a run, they gave that bottom line some space, so they were able to kind of just drive with ease, per se. But all bets are off with 5 to go. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a green-white checkered.
Yeah, and that's a good question for the chat. Will we see a green-white checker? I'm leaning your way, Bob. Or not Bob. You're not Bob. You're Doze. Another 3-letter name. Luckily, you're not a 4-letter name. Well, maybe you are to some drivers. I don't know it. Sometimes I'm sure some drivers are saying 4-letter words after Daytona when you took that checkered flag. But I'm thinking green-white checker. What about you, G?
Oh, we have 3 attempts at a green-white checkered, and for the people in the chat, I hope we use every single one of them, because I don't have to pay for any of the body damage done to these race cars. So let's do it.
Well, I don't think we have seen anyone flip tonight, but it might happen here in the closing lap. There goes the pace car. Green flag in the flagman's hand, and we're about to get set to go back to green flag racing here at iRacing Super Speedway. Green flag being whipped in the air by Mr. Flagman, and Andrew Himmelman gets us to that green flag. Little connection issues in the back of the pack. That's the number 97, Mike Floppy Tellier. Also, Vincent Valvano having a little connection hiccup there in the number 38 machine, but so far clean and green. We go back single file now at the front of the field, but it won't take too long before we're back 2 by 2 by 2 there, G. I'm sure these lines will start to form up here very quickly.
Peter, get a hard cam on that 97 of the Canadian Dale Earnhardt, because if anyone's going to come from the back to the front like a madman, it's Mike Floppy Teller. I've known him forever, and that's what he does.
Yeah, and it looks like he's experiencing some of those connection issues that we were just talking about, so hopefully that doesn't thwart his attempt trying to get up to the front of the field. I think that was also the 38 machine also having a little connection issues there again. You see that tire smoke that iRacing throws up. 3 more laps to go, and here comes that outside groove led by the number 50. That's Bill Edwards in the S2R machine getting a little bit of help from David Harvey. Remember, Harvey and Edwards were that group of drivers who elected to stay out a little bit longer to come down pit road, so we know they've been working together here tonight. But Andrew Himmelman continuing to be pushed to the race lead by Jason Gracias, your reigning Grand National Series champion. Oh, there goes the number 50. Just like that, the number 50 of Bill Edwards spins down into the inside wall. We're going to have a green-white checker there, Doze.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happened to Bill. Last I saw, he was up front, so this will be good to see the replay here.
Just gets the number 77 machine. Looks like Harvey gives him a bad nudge, and that 50 machine impales the inside wall. I think Harvey might have also got a big shot from what looked to be the number 99 machine of Philip Scott. Let's see if we can go on board here with the 77. You see how he's off center there, Garrett, and that's not where you want to bump a car. And then he comes down across the racetrack, and I think he collected the 99 as well of Philip Scott. But that's just a bump gone wrong, G.
Yeah, I've been there, done that plenty of times, as I'm sure anybody that's raced long enough has. It's so much nicer to be able to drive these Xfinity Series cars with the lined up bumpers, but if you miss by a little bit, you're going to ruin somebody's day, and that's just one of those examples right then and there.
Yeah, now I believe the number 50 of Edwards still fast repair. We'll have to see whether or not that is true or not, and I think we just got our answer there, Doze, that Bill Edwards did have a fast repair, so he'll be able to get that car back up to the back of the field. He stayed on the lead lap. We only have one fast repair, but he had it in his back pocket. I'm sure we'll see him charging to the front here once we go back to green, but at least for a lap or two, we have a little bit of extra time under caution. Doze, I'm going to let me know who you want to talk to. Let's see if we can get one of these drivers down here into the 3-wide TV booth while we're under caution. Doze, who do you want to talk to?
I want to talk to Bill Edwards. I want to hear what just went through his mind as he's spinning uncontrollably through the infield.
All right, well, guess what? I got the number 50 machine. Doze, go ahead.
Bill Edwards, Steve Doziak in the 3-wide TV booth. You got a copy.
What's up, Doze?
How you doing, Bill?
Good.
Take us for a ride. What just happened? Spinning out from a bump gone wrong.
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think the bumper's just caught and it hooked a little bit. But used my fast repair and I'm back in it, coming up to the end of the pack right now. So I live to fight another day.
And you're receiving $10 for your Stage 2 Heat 2 race win. Tell us about that. 4 wide at the line for a photo finish.
Oh yeah, that was a blast. I don't know. I was just impressed with everybody the way they could hold the line and there was just enough room to squeeze through. So there was only one shot at it, and I took it, and I got the middle lane suck, and it pulled me right through.
Well, congratulations on the $10. You are my pick for the overall race win at $50. I've seen the other S2R cars win week in, week out with Ben Izinga on Monday nights and James on Friday nights. So let's get this third S2R car in victory lane tonight.
I'm going to give it my all.
Well, thank you, Bill, and good luck.
Thanks, man.
All right, well, we'll get Bill back to where he needs to go. But we're still under caution. Pace car lights are still on. Garrett, anyone you want to dial up?
No, I hate everybody. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. That's fine by me.
Can we get Vinny up here for a second?
All right, let's see if we can get Mr. Valvano down here into the 3-wide TV booth. There, G, take it away.
Hey, Vinny, it's Garrett up here in the booth. You're my pick to win the race. How you looking out there?
Is my mic staticky? Does it sound all right?
You sound wonderful, Vinny.
Well, I hope I could win it for you. Thanks for picking me.
How's the number 38 machine running on track tonight? You having fun in the draft?
I'm loving it. I'm having a blast.
Awesome, buddy. Good luck, and I hope to see Cousin Ron back with us next week as well.
Hopefully. Thanks, I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
All right, well, we'll let Vinny get back to it because here's the good news, folks. Pace car lights have turned off. And, all right, going to ask another question. Garrett, we've seen one attempt at a green-white checker, this being the first one. Will we see a second attempt at a green-white checker?
I'm afraid so. Let's see what happens. Nobody wants to finish second tonight. They're going for it. There's going to be another accident.
Doze, do you agree?
100%. It's going to go with all three green-white checkers, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see a big pileup coming out of turn 4 for the checkered flag.
And I think you would know about those pileups on the final lap there, Doze. Of course, taking home the win at Daytona. Will we see something similar here tonight? We'll just have to wait and see. I got to say, that was a wild finish back at Daytona to start off the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series season. And big shout out to Thornton Graphix Series sponsor, as well as Dunn Raceway Park in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. Both of those people putting this league together and really helping out, making this league possible. Of course, with all the money on the line here tonight, a little bit of a breather from the championship. Trying to go for that extra cash, bragging rights on the line. There goes the pace car, Andrew Himmelman, the number 6 machine, who has now locked up the most laps led, but it doesn't really matter here tonight because there's no points attached with this one. He's on that lap. Already out to a big jump there, G.
That was team orders right there. Andrew took the top lane, and Jason Gracias gave him room to clear him, and they're going to work together here to the finish. I think Jason Gracias is happy to finish in second tonight.
And that would be $20 for that number 1 machine if he finishes in second. Folks, I'll tell you what, I'm one of those people, I will push someone until the final lap. Once you get to that last lap, all bets are off. Does Jason Gracias, is he thinking, just let's stay behind the number 6 machine until the very last second, jump out, try and make a move? We saw James Arello do a similar move here a couple of weeks back in the iRacing Super Speedway event that we had in here in the not Total Non-Stop Racing League, but the National Sim Racing Association. And folks, I think we're going to make it to the white flag, which means we're not going to have a second attempt at the green-white checker. It's going to be checkers or wreckers from here on out. Who's going to take home the win? Here comes Spencer Tart with a little bit of help from Lorello. He's closing in on the back of the number 1 machine as we go off through turn number 1 and 2. Doze?
Yeah, we see this bottom line getting formed up. I would say the winner is going to come from the top line, so look mid-pack for somebody to break out a line. Will Jason Gracias throw a block to get Andrew Himmelman his first TNR win? We have half a lap to find out.
The outside line forming up. Spencer Tart trying to get a little help. Here comes Mike Floppy Tellier. He's trying to go 3 wide up the middle, but it doesn't look like it's going to do all too much for him. The 13 and the 1 almost come together. Himmelman still holding strong. They wreck behind. Himmelman gets it done here at Daytona. Gracias looks like he's going to pick up the $20, and James Lorello coming home in third, picking up the $10. Your top 3 coming home with a little bit of money, but it is Andrew Himmelman led the most laps, 27 to be exact, and he will win here at iRacing Super Speedway. What a great race out of this young man there at G.
Well, somebody better check on his mom because she is a huge fan of any league he races in, and she's probably going wild in the chat right now. So congratulations, Andrew. Congratulations, Mom. He deserved it. Now you could breathe. Go outside, go for a walk, get some fresh air. You've deserved it.
Yeah, Andrew Himmelman, I'm sure he's going to come across here and burn it down. And Doze, I know you won here this season in the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. Tell us what it means to win in one of these races. And Himmelman, of course, picking up his first win here in his Total Nonstop Racing career here tonight.
Oh, just to get the monkey off your back, and for this 15-year-old with his company on his car, I mean, what more could you ask for? 15 years old, racing with some of the best in the iRacing community. I mean, congratulations to him. And I know his mom, even stepdad Ben Adams, who races with us, I'm sure they're going ecstatic right now.
I'm going to give him like a 4 out of 10 for the burnouts, Peter. I think he needs you to teach him a little bit, but he'll have plenty of years to learn.
You know what? Make sure the car is legal by smashing it into the wall. That is a 100% legitimate thing to do. We've seen that a couple of times in real life, but I'm sure he is absolutely ecstatic. I know his mom in the chat here tonight said that he's trying to save up all the money that he can for a new pedal set. And this win here tonight will help him out tremendously. Of course, he's also picking up money with that sim shots that's on the hood with all those camera angles that he's been giving everyone each and every week with Total Nonstop Racing League as well as the National Sim Racing Association. So Andrew Himmelman on the march here in the sim racing world. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a brief step away. We'll be right back. We'll get some post-race interviews with your top 3 finishers and find out what they're going to do with their extra cash. Be right back. All right, folks, welcome back to iRacing Super Speedway, where tonight's Take All of G's Money, Make 'em Broke exhibition race has come to its conclusion, and it was a wild finish, wild night with a lot of money being handed out, and I believe that Stephen Doziak has caught up with your third-place finisher here tonight, James Lorello there, Doze.
James Loro, Steve Doziak, you have a copy?
Gotcha, man.
Hey, James, congratulations on the $10 third place finish. You started 21st, drove it all the way up to third. Tell us about the race tonight.
It was a really fun track. I really had a good time. You could get some huge runs. I was hoping it would stay green so that the STR teammates could kind of draft, and we just tried to draft as fast as we could to make a gap there. But at the end, it was really all about that bottom and getting a run off the bottom. And Andrew, just congrats to him and for getting his first win. That's really awesome. He shows up every week since fast. So glad he could get a win and get some money out of it.
Yeah, I was saying during the broadcast, between Friday night's race and the trucks and tonight, he's been putting on a great weekend. You're no stranger to podiums here on 3Y TV between the trucks. You had an outstanding season there. Best of luck in the finals as I race with you. What else are you looking forward to this year on this 3Y TV broadcast?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this series for TNR. I think we're gonna have a lot of great races here as we head into Richmond and that sort of stuff. So excited about that, and for the new season of NSRA, just all of it. I think it's gonna be awesome. Guys are really coming together, and the last couple of weeks, some new guys are fast. As Andrew's been running great, and JT Poole and others. So it's really, I think the league's really getting competitive, and I think it's gonna be fun heading into the summer.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I'm no stranger to racing you on the track. Usually you're passing me. It is nice to finally interview you. But overall, I mean, you've had a great year. It's fitting that you're on the podium as well tonight for the $10. I know you work hard at this. I was picked S2R. I picked Bill, to be honest. You and Ben have had great seasons. I thought maybe Bill would cash up, but overall, great race. You have any one you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, I think so. Those S2R guys. I would have picked Bill too after that 4 wide finish in the second heat. And thanks to everybody who's putting on the league, Garrett for TNR and all the sponsors. I might be out a couple weeks, just so everybody knows. My wife is scheduled to give birth next Monday, so I probably will miss that race, and then hopefully we'll be back in a couple weeks. But I'll be taking a little bit of time off before I get my head back in the game here. So appreciate you all. Thanks.
Thank you, and congratulations, and best of luck. We look forward to seeing you back on the track.
All right, well, that's going to do it for your third place interview here tonight, Lorello. I believe Garrett Gleason is caught up with our second place finisher here tonight. Jason Grossi is picking up $20 there, G.
Gracias, it's your friend Garrett. It seemed like you had some team orders from your SimShots compatriot there to push him to the win. How'd that feel?
I decided to take the colleague racing approach. Wait until last lap, last turn, then try to make a move. I just timed it wrong by half a second for the second time in the super speedway race. So it is what it is. Happy for Andrew. He's a good kid. He's doing a lot for the community. He does a lot for our league by taking pictures of our races. So overall, I'm just happy that if I didn't win, that Sim Shots car won. But you can't be too disappointed with taking home money, especially for money, Garrett.
Yeah, certainly not. And I was broke to begin with, but now I'm even more broke after the show you guys put on tonight. It seems like you have had a lot of second place finishes in all the super speedway races between TNR and NSRA. Is there anything you'd like to do differently going forward at these type of tracks?
Honestly, no. I think if I'm in second place coming to the line, if I'm losing by thousands of seconds, that means I'm doing something right. Maybe I can be a little bit more aggressive coming to the line, but it is what it is. I'm not complaining. I'm here to have fun, and I had fun.
I noticed you pulled over on the front stretch to help Andrew celebrate his win, and he spun into you while he was doing his burnouts. Any advice for him doing burnouts going forward?
Yeah, hold the clutch and dump it. Hold the clutch, floor it, and then dump the clutch. That's all you got to do. Or you can be classy and do the Polish victory lap around here, but that might take a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm paying for the server by the hour, so let's not get crazy out there. And that's championship winning advice for you, Andrew, so take that to heart. Before we let you go, Jason, any shout-outs or thank yous or whatever you want to do, go for it.
Yeah, Garrett, thanks for putting the league together. I know I won money, but I'm going to donate that back into the league fund, so it's going to go back to help out the league. Thanks to Billy Thornton for coming on board for sponsoring the league for 2 seasons now. Thanks to Master Millwright for coming on and sponsoring the modified series. So if you dirt guys want to come race with us, come check that out. We run on Tuesday nights now. Thanks to Chris Darling for this beautiful car, and thanks to SimShots for the photos he's going to take of this race.
All right, well, folks, that's going to do it for our second place finisher here tonight, Jason Gracias. But now I get to go to victory lane where Andrew Himmelman, who not only picked up the $50 for winning here tonight, he also picked up the halfway bonus, an extra $10, so $60 in the pocket here tonight. Andrew, congratulations on getting your first Total Nonstop Racing win, and a big one here tonight, leading 27 laps. Tell us how you did it.
Oh, I don't know. I gotta have a huge thanks to Jason Gracias. I just wouldn't have won that without him. He came with that SimShots car, and we just hooked up. It was awesome.
Yeah, you definitely charged to the front here tonight. Very, very impressive for you and that race car. How fun was it out there? I mean, we saw a lot of slice and dicing for a good majority of the field, but you were able to hold on to that position, and it's the most fun when you're out front, isn't it?
Oh, it was a ton of fun. Me and Jason, actually on that last caution, we had to generate a whole strategy just to try to get back on that inside line, but it worked out, thankfully. It was a ton of fun tonight.
Yeah, definitely a fun race here tonight. And of course, next week we go to Richmond here in Total Nonstop Racing League. But you also had a fantastic race last week, National Sim Association Simbox Truck Series. So all eyes are on you now here on 3Y TV to put in another good showing this week on the channel this Friday night. What are your thoughts about the next few races that we have here on the channel?
I think we've had a lot of good runs, and I'm excited for what we got in the next few races. And I wish we could have pieced it together last Friday night, but stuff happens. But hopefully this is what's to come. Hopefully we get a couple more races.
Yeah, that is for sure, Andrew. I know you have some shout-outs to give, so let's hear them.
Stay tuned Sports for sponsoring the truck series. Again, Jason Gracias, Garrett for putting this on, and you can always go like SimShots on Facebook.
All right, well, you heard it from the race winner himself, Andrew Himmelman. starting to put together a little bit of momentum here on 3 Wide TV. Andrew, congratulations, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again here pretty soon on 3 Wide TV.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, fantastic run for Andrew Himmelman here tonight, picking up the $60. $50 for taking home the checkered flag, $10 for leading at the halfway mark. Jason Gracias picks up $20 for coming home in second. James Orello, he picked up $10 for finishing third as well as winning his heat. And Bill Edwards also picking up $10 here tonight for winning heat number 2. So, 4 drivers here are going to be picking up money, Garrett. I know at the start of the night we had no idea who was going to win it, but all things considered, 3 really fantastic finishes.
I'm still in disbelief with how great the racing was tonight. And just like every other Monday, the only thing that was going to be for certain is that I would be a loser at the end of the night. And I am a loser this Monday night because I lost a bunch of money to deserving people.
Well, it's definitely been a really fun race. And Steven, our next race here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, of course, we're not giving away Garrett's money next week. I'm sure a lot of the field are disappointed about that, but Garrett isn't disappointed about that. We don't want to make him even more broke, but we go to Richmond, which is a 3/4 mile short track. What are your thoughts about going to Richmond? We might see you in the car, we might not.
Yeah, chances are I will be in the car. Everybody knows in this league I cannot save tires for the life of me. So look for me at the back of the pack like always. And look for a lot of double file racing, I want to say, but clean racing. We pride ourselves on, pretty caution-free races over here at TNR. I look for a new winner next week. I don't know who it will be yet, but I think we're going to have a first-time winner next Monday night at Richmond.
All right, well, you heard it from Stephen Doziak. Prediction will see the winner next week. I don't know. Ben Izenga is going to be a tough one to beat in the number 17 machine, always strong at the short tracks that we go to. Garrett, it is your league. You threw this whole thing together back in the day. You threw it all together again once it was revitalized here on iRacing. And earlier this week, I heard you say that this is as strong as the league has ever been. Any final thoughts about not only tonight, but how the season has gone as we close in on the halfway mark?
Well, Peter, as I always say, it's not my league, it's our league, and this league belongs to everyone. And I'm so happy that we are growing by the day, it seems, whether it be through sponsorship deals we're making, through just people's interest in the league. Our broadcasts are doing well, and it's all thanks to everybody from top to bottom, whether it be on track or behind the scenes, like you guys on 3 Wide TV, Billy Thornton, Master Millwright. Since when we used to race in our 2003, we were lucky if we had a 15 car field. Now on a weekly basis, we're doing 30 cars and we're having great, clean racing. And I am proud of everyone, and I cannot say that enough. And thank you to everyone who's come along for this ride, because it's been amazing.
Absolutely. It has been a wonderful ride, and it will continue to be a wonderful ride here on Wide TV. Before we go, we do want to go through the final race results so you can figure out where your favorite race car driver finished. Andrew Himmelman taking home the win. Jason Gracias in second. James Orello coming home third. Those were your money winners. Mike Floppy Tellier just 0.02 of a second out of the money here tonight in the number 97. Spencer Tart coming home in fifth. Philip Scott rounding out your top 6. Vincent Valvano, Jason Freeman, Ben Izenga, and David Harvey rounding out your top 10. On page number 2, Jason Shue in the number 40 machine, Bill Edwards, Lupe Gonzalez, Kyle Geveshausen, Bob Giaquinto. A tough break there for Bob, getting nabbed on pit road by the speeding police. Brian Rubel coming home in the 16th spot. Tristan Maher in 17th. Tony Lucarelli down there in 18th. And of course, Garrett, Steven, you guys were alongside me, so you guys don't count there at the bottom of the screen. But 18 starters. It was a wild and eventful night here on the channel. Make sure you tune in next Monday night, same time, same place, for action around Richmond, the 3/4 mile racetrack, which always puts on a very exciting show. It will be a good one here in the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. But guys, for myself, Peter Short, Mr. Stephen Doziak, Mr. Garrett Gleason, Mr. Commish himself, we bid each and every one of you a good night, have a good evening, and we shall see ya!